Alrighty, YouTube, this is Reed with ENR Collectors, and it has been a while since my last video. Um, Made it, I think, last year, even, because I think I went over my list, but then, things happened and kind of stopped checking up on my channel and kind of wasn't watching any videos or anything like that until kind of recently and started getting back into it. And, you know, things came up, made some big non-comic book purchases and stuff kind of at the beginning of the year, and went on a cruise back in beginning of February, that before all the coronavirus hit, really. And yeah, just been crazy, but getting back into it. I like a lot of people, am cooped up at home, so I'm still working, but still been finding time and or finding or needing time to fill, so I've been watching a lot of YouTube and kind of getting back into it. And also, I've really only bought, I guess, two big books this whole year so far, so I haven't really had enough. I haven't really bought enough books to really make a whole new video, but I figured I'd try my hand at a top 50, seeing these going around. So, um, figured I got some different books to show than what I've seen in a lot of videos, so might show those off. Only a couple of these I know I haven't shown before, because these are the ones I've gotten this year that I know I haven't shown off. So there's a mix here. There's some keys. There's some variants that I really like, and some other things. Not a whole lot of really super high value books, but there's books that I like, covers that I like, stories that I like, stuff like that. So I guess I'll just get into it. These are in some kind of order. Um, Not until I get down to the last, 10 or so, does it really get into a specific order of sorts. But you guys know how it is. Your favorites change constantly. So figured I'd start it off. This is a recent book, but it's probably my favorite Artgerm book to come out in quite some time. So um, I just I absolutely love this cover. Amazing Mary Jane #1. This is the secret variant with the alternate kind of trade dress, and I have a regular um, trade dress one that's signed by Artgerm. Another favorite Artgerm cover, Batman #1. Um, I want to say this is a Legacy Comics store exclusive, or I think it's a store exclusive. I think Legacy Comics is the one doing a lot of these variants and some other covers here. Batman and Robin Adventures #18. I don't think it's a super valuable book, but it's a fun cover like that. All right, so this one it's three books, but I'm counting it kind of as one. Um, so there's this is Dr. Aphra #1. This is the Ashley Witter Brain Trust variant, and so there's three different versions of that. So there's the full color, there's this kind of muted color with the pink, and then there's the black and white version. So that is a fun cover there. Here's another Dr. Aphra cover, Dr. Aphra #8. So this was a Denver Comic Con exclusive from, what year was that? 2017. So again, another Ashley Witter cover. I really like the detail in this cover. And seeing as I go to Denver Comic Con every year, it was really fun to see a Star Wars exclusive to my local big town con. Hold on a second. Okay, going back to Artgerm covers here really quick. Um, Spectacular Spider-Man #1 Artgerm cover. Another one of my favorite Artgerms. Really, really like that cover. Another favorite, Amazing Spider-Man 25. Really cool Black Cat cover there. Favorite Tyler Kirkham cover right there. Another Amazing Spider-Man 25. Unknown Comics exclusive. My favorite of the Adam Hughes books that I have so far. I honestly don't have a whole lot of Adam Hughes books, but this one, I really love this book, Amazing Spider-Man 800. So, really had to get that one. So then this one's a cool cover. I'm not necessarily a big Silver Surfer fan, but this is Silver Surfer Black #1. So this is a Delato, I believe, yes, Delato cover, done as an exclusive for Iron Lion Collectibles in Colorado Springs. So I kind of like that. This is, I believe this is the first kind of store exclusive for a store from Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs is my home, so that's where I'm from. It's not where I live per se, but yeah, that's where I'm from. So I got a connection to Colorado Springs, so it's cool to see a local store there get a exclusive cover. I mean, don't quote me on that, but I don't know of any other stores in Colorado Springs that have or have ever had a store exclusive made for them. So that was cool to get that one. Support, an LCS. So everyone knows this. It's a big book, but it's not inherently all that valuable or expensive. You can find these all over the place. But I really love the cover. I would like to get a gold variant of that sometime. So this one, ultimately part of a kind of a sub collection I'm kind of starting to do, Shadow of the Bat #1. This is the first appearance of Victor Zsasz. So I'm kind of wanting to collect as many the first appearances of Batman villains as I can. So to start, and if I can't afford the real first appearance, if it's a Golden Age first appearance, then I'm shooting at least for Silver Age first appearances. Again, not super expensive, super valuable, but first appearance of Amanda Waller, so it's a cool character. It's a key book. A favorite J. Scott Campbell book right there, Black Panther #5. So this, I believe, is the first appearance of Shuri as Black Panther. So I got this quite some time before the movie ever came out, because I found it, I think I only got it for like $4. So I think this cover's gone up in value some since then. Picture is looking a little bit blurry. Sorry for that. Another favorite cover of mine, also a kind of a key issue book, Batman 609. I believe this is the second book in the Hush series, and I guess this is technically the first appearance of, what's his first name? Tim Elliott or whatever, the guy who ends up being Hush. I don't believe it's technically the first appearance of Hush. I'm a little hazy on the key nature of this book, but I do love this book. I hope sometime to maybe go to a convention or something like that Jim Lee is at, and get this signed, because this is in impeccable condition. I would love to have that signed and graded. This one, it's a cool, it's just a really cool, it's a cool cover, but it's also a really cool story. I'm a big fan of Mr. Freeze, and so it's a really cool Mr. Freeze story in there, and you got some other smaller, Harley and Ivy stories in there as well. Batman Adventures Holiday Special #1. So this one, Batman 190, it's an early Silver Age Penguin appearance. If you guys have watched my videos at all, you know that my favorite villain is the Penguin. So I'm a big Penguin fan. I'm a big Penguin collector. Um, so this one is in terrible condition. The cover is detached, so I definitely want to get a upgrade on this. Um, and I think it's within reason to get a pretty good high grade copy of this. So I'm just kind of holding out, continuing to hunt for a significantly nicer condition of this book to get and kind of maybe keep this one as a reader copy. But it's a fun story. It's a fun cover. This one by itself isn't all that special. Teen Titans number 12. But this one is part of the IRS collection. So it's kind of a funny story, and it's got a connection to Colorado history, and seeing as I'm from Colorado, I really like this. And so the quick version is, a guy from the Colorado Department of Revenue who oversaw issuing tax refunds to people who had passed away and issuing those to their families, was instead embezzling the funds from those tax refunds, keeping essentially the tax refunds for himself, and using them to amass this giant collection of comic books. And he eventually, of course, was caught, and in order to repay the, the debts that he embezzled, they auctioned off all of his comic books, and so this is one of the ones that he got. So kind of a neat story, neat connection to Colorado history, but by itself, maybe not necessarily a huge book. So this one here is another new book, Undiscovered Country #1. So this is the exclusive cover for my current LCS, Hall of Justice Comics in Parker, Colorado. This is their first store exclusive. So I was for sure, happy to, support them and doing their first store exclusive. It's an interesting story. I guess I've only read the first 2 issues so far, but it's even signed by Jorge Corona. He came out for the launch of it, did a signing. I believe this is limited to 500 copies. Don't quote me on that. So it's really cool. It's got some personal connection there on top of being a kind of a cool cover. This guy riding this cool bison. Okay. Darth Vader #3. You guys know I'm a big Star Wars fan, so the biggest key of the current or of the new Marvel books, first appearance of Dr. Aphra. So this one, it's neat to have it, but it is technically incomplete. Amazing Spider-Man #41, first appearance of the Rhino. It is missing, I guess, the centerfold advertising pages. So the story inside is complete. It's missing some of the ad pages inside, so it's technically incomplete. So I got it for super cheap, but so yeah, for the time being, it's the biggest Spider-Man villain key that I have, even if it is incomplete. But it was too cheap to pass up. All right, here's this one, Spider-Man Noir #1, first appearance of Spider-Man Noir. Really like the idea of Spider-Man Noir, and I also just learned last week that this was somewhat recent. I believe they came out in 2010, 2011. There's a whole Marvel Noir set of different books that came out. So you've got a Daredevil Noir series, a Punisher Noir, and some others. So I definitely want to start looking out for the other noir titles that I didn't know about until just last week. So really cool book there. This is a cool one. Detective Comics 373, the second appearance of Mr. Freeze, but the first time that he's referred to as Mr. Freeze, as opposed to Dr. Zero. So, really cool there. Could probably use an upgrade and condition on that one. Batman Adventures, Mad Love, kind of the origin story of Harley Quinn, an early Harley Quinn appearance there. So, super happy to have that. Really super nice condition there. Might try getting it pressed. There's a couple wrinkles in there I think could help it out a bit. Marvel Team Up number 141, kind of co-first appearance of the black suit. Not in super high grade, but hey, it was cheap, so. Like I said, I was starting to collect Batman villain first appearances, so Detective Comics 583, first appearance of Ventriloquist and Scarface. I really like Ventriloquist as a villain. It's a really, unique idea. So now I'm going to get into the slabs. Most of my slabs are in the top bunch here, just because my favorite books I like to get slabbed. So do this one, Batman Adventures number 1. Cool Penguin appearance. I love the Batman animated series, so it's a cool, book based off of that. But then it's also signed by Ty Templeton, and then Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from the animated series. So, and personally my favorite Batman actor. So, here's this one. This is Force Awakens adaptation number 1. It's a Neal Adams. It's a creatorbox.com, kind of Nickel City Comic-Con exclusive. So, really cool cover there. And it's also signed by Neal Adams. Love me some cool Star Wars books. Here's another favorite Art Germ cover. Grim Fairy Tales presents Oz number 1. Really, really super nice cover there. Here's one, Luke Cage number 1. I believe one of the more recent Luke Cage series. So it's a Neal Adams incentive cover signed by Neal Adams and Mike Coulter, who played Luke Cage in the Netflix series. So happy to have that. Probably my favorite J. Scott Campbell cover so far, Batman number 50. This one you can tell, it's got the penguin on it, and I like Batman's villains, so I could, go for some of the other ones on this. It's a connecting cover set, so, but that's the only one I got so far. It's the only one I really wanted. Another favorite Art Germ cover, Batgirl number 12. Super happy to have that. Took me a bit to get it, but I got it. Maybe. There we go. Here's one, Batman 359. So this is the first Killer Croc cover. It's an early Killer Croc appearance. It is also apparently Dan Jurgens' first artwork, so I did not know that when I got this graded. But yeah, it's also a cool cover, getting some of the Rogues Gallery on there. I don't believe I have Killer Croc's first appearance yet, but that's in the works. So this one's got some more sentimental value to me. So this is the Sarah Pacelli variant for Star Wars number 1. And I credit this book, this particular one, as what kind of got me into comic book collecting. I had been wanting to get into comic books for some time, but I I was struggling to find where to start. And so when Marvel, relaunched the Star Wars line, as a big Star Wars fan, I jumped on it, and then that's where I also discovered variants, and that kind of helped give me a starting point to look into both starting in on a story point and also collecting variants and learning about value of books and stuff like that, and it all kind of cascaded from this particular book here. This is the first variant that I got, and what kind of helped launch me into comic book collecting. So, I don't think it's all that super valuable or rare of a variant for Star Wars #1, considering there were 8 billion different variants for Star Wars #1, but like I said, that's some sentimental personal value there. Another one of my favorite Artgerm covers, Renew Your Vows, Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows #1, Legacy Comics exclusive. Absolutely love this Artgerm cover. Definitely one of my favorites, if not my favorite so far. Alright, getting there, getting there. This is Chewbacca #1. I was hoping for a little bit higher grade, but I got it signed by Eunice Suetamo, who's the new Chewbacca actor. And he was so excited to see that there was actually a Chewbacca comic book that he was flipping through it before he signed it. And so I think that led to some of the dings in condition to give it a 9.2, but still a 9.2. Is not bad. It's an Alex Ross, I believe, 1 in 50 retailer incentive. Really cool cover there. Cool to have that sign. Also, you guys know I like the action figure variant covers by John Tyler Christopher for the Star Wars run. So this is Cassian and K2SO #1. This is the John Tyler Christopher store exclusive, and it is signed by Alan Tudyk, who played K2SO in Rogue One. So super happy to have that. Love those action figure covers. I have almost all of them. I think I'm down to, so I guess I'm missing 5 of the action figure covers that he's done for the Marvel Star Wars line. This one, I just really love this cover, and I'm trying to find words as to why I love this cover so much. But I do really like this cover. Amazing Spider-Man #1. This is the Mark Brooks Secret exclusive, and it's signed by Mark Brooks here. I really like this cover. Okay, let me see here. So I'm actually going to do this one next. So this is my most recent purchase, actually. This actually just came in the mail today. Continuing on with those Batman villains. So this is Batman 386. First appearance of Black Mask. Super happy to get this. I got this 9.4. I bought it off of eBay. I've been keeping my eye on eBay in all my spare time, and found this as an auction, and I ended up winning the auction. And I got this after shipping and after tax and all that. I got this for less than $100, which I thought was a pretty good steal. So super happy to have that. So this one, I've got a kind of a love-hate relationship with this book, and I've explained it before. So this is Amazing Spider-Man #400. This is the death of Aunt May. So this is my Stan Lee signature. So this was back in, what year did he come? 2016? At Denver Comic Con, Stan Lee was coming, and you know, in this condition, this book is worth practically nothing. This was a book that my brothers and I found in our parents' basement a couple of years ago. We found this and I think two other books, and since there's three of us, each of us just took one of the books, and we weren't entirely sure who this belonged to of the three of us, you know, but we probably got it back in maybe back in the 90s. So it's probably my older brother's, seeing as I would have been one when this came out. It's probably not mine, but I ended up with it, and I considered this to be the biggest key issue that I had for Stan Lee to sign. This book just shows how much I didn't know even back in 2016 when it came to comic book collecting. So I'm super happy to have a Stan Lee signature. I just wish I would have gotten it on something a little bit better. There's better key issues out there. There's better books in better condition to have him sign. This is the best I could come up with. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't fully understand grade and condition at the time. So yes, this was also one of the first books I got sent off to get graded, and I've definitely learned a lot since then. So I take it for what it is, a Stan Lee signature. The value is always a thought with me, but I don't plan on selling most, if not any, of these books anytime soon. I'm actually going to throw this one up, my last of my Raw books. So this is Batman 50, a blank sketch cover. This has got a Penguin sketch on it by Phil Hester. Phil Hester came and did a signing at my LCS Hall of Justice Comics. Oh, gosh. I think it was for local comic shop day, if I remember right. So whenever that was. And so he was doing these sketches for free. So I got the book for $5, and he did the sketch for free. So to get a sketch of the Penguin for essentially $5, I think that was pretty good deal. So I am hooked on sketches on blank covers. So I've got 3, this being one of them. I definitely plan on getting more. I'm wanting to collect different artists' versions or takes on the Penguin. So I've got some Batman books, but then I've also got a bunch of Star Wars blanks as well that I want to get some sketches on. Okay, we're down to the last kind of top few books here. Marvel Premiere 47. First, Scott Lang as Ant-Man. Ant-Man's probably my favorite of the MCU movie characters. I'm a big Paul Rudd fan, so it kind of helped me want to get that book. Happy to have that. Super happy about this one. Got it for a good price at the Condition. First Carnage. But it's also signed by Mark Bagley, so pretty cool to have that. Here is another one of my blank sketch covers that I got. Princess Leia #1. This is by an artist named James Hance. Really incredible cover of Princess Leia there. There's a lot of detail and stuff in this book. So really super happy to have this. I got this at the 501st Legion auction that they do at Denver Comic Con every year to raise money for Make-A-Wish Foundation. So the money for this went to Make-A-Wish Foundation as well. So really love that book. Doesn't quite make the top 5. So these are the top 5 for right now. This is the first book I ever spent significant money on. And by significant, I guess that would be over $100. So this is Star Wars #1, the black and white Luke Skywalker action figure variant cover. This is a ghost of a book. There's believed to be anywhere from 300 to 500 issues of this particular variant. And so, since I'm collecting all of the Star Wars action figure variant covers that John Tyler Christopher has done, this is the holy grail of that collection. And so I spent some money to get it. But that being said, what some people are asking for it on eBay, upwards of $1,000 plus, I did not pay that much. I think I got it for around 400, so couldn't pass it up at the price. It was an auction that I actually lost, but then the seller contacted me and said it was still available. I guess the person who won the auction, I don't know, never paid for it or what, but he asked if I wanted it and for the same price, and I'm like, sure, yeah, I'll take it. So got that. Super happy to have that. The ghost of a book. Another personal favorite here, Lando #1. This is the 1 in 50 Alex Ross incentive variant, signed by Billy D. Williams, Lando Calrissian himself. So the only reason it's an 8.5, this really is a 9.8, is when this got signed, the people with Billy D. Williams put this little sticker on it that goes with, is like the certificate of authenticity. So this matches up. There's a little number on there that matches up with the certificate of authenticity with it. So they put that little sticker on it, and that's what bumped it down to an 8.5. But that's the only grader's note on this book, which leads me to believe it really is a 9.8. But whatever. I love this book. Lando's a favorite character of mine. But here is my favorite Star Wars character, Darth Maul #1, on a book done by one of my favorite artists, Mark Brooks, signed by Ray Park, the actor of Darth Maul in Episode 1. Love this book. Absolutely love it. Awesome cover. Awesome character. Alrighty. These are the last two. I'm trying to decide which one's #1. I can't quite at the moment, so I'm going to do this one and save the other one since I haven't shown it yet. So this is my third blank sketch cover, Batman Detective Comics 1000. Got this done last year at Denver Comic Con by Mark Brooks, one of my favorite comic book artists. I absolutely love this. I could just stare at this for hours. I love it so much. To be done by one of my favorite comic book artists, it's just fantastic. It's not a full-on commission, but it is a head sketch. Got there as soon as I could on the first day of Denver Comic Con last year, and his commission list was already full up. But he was doing these kind of quicker head sketches, but this is plenty enough for me, so I absolutely love this. Of the Penguin, my favorite villain. Continuing on with the Penguin vibe, here is the #1 currently. This is one that I just got. You can kind of tell it's on my wish list for this year. This is Batman 155. This is the first Silver Age appearance of the Penguin. Might be the closest I get to a first appearance of the Penguin. I'll consistently keep an eye out for it, but unless I come into a large sum of money, I'm not sure I'm going to get a Detective Comics 58. So I might be able to swing some of his other Golden Age appearances, but I don't have any of those yet. So for the time being, this is the most significant Penguin comic book that I got. I also spent a bit of money on this, but I think I got a good price on it considering the price of the others on eBay. So super happy to have that. So that's what I got for my top 50-ish, give or take a few. some new books in there. So I'm in a comic book buying mood, so we'll see when I get another video done. But until then, I appreciate you guys watching, those of you who watched, and I will see you all later.